Now on 4 News Now at 6, we sat down with a former board member to see what he thinks is causing so many leaders to walk away from Bloomsday.
The weekend is here and the weather is perfect to get out and do a little yard work maybe. Cooler temperatures are making their way into the area in the forecast. I'll let you know when those temperatures are expected to drop in the First Alert forecast.
One popular bakery is struggling to keep employees and customers' cars safe. What steps they're now taking to help staff pay for damaged cars. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. We start with breaking news out of Spokane Valley. Police closed off a neighborhood on Boone Avenue near Dick Road, just south of Interstate 90, for a stabbing investigation. The Spokane Valley Police Chief tells us they got a call about 2 men fighting. When they arrived, they found one of them with several serious stab wounds. He was rushed to a hospital. He's in critical condition. Police say they are looking for the man accused of stabbing him right now. Detectives are asking anyone in this neighborhood who witnessed this or maybe has some home video surveillance to call Crime Check. The number is 456-2233. 4 News Now will have more on this developing story. Check our website, KXLY.com, as well as Nightside at 11 o'clock.
We're uncovering new information tonight from the Bloomsday office following the resignation of race director John Neal and 2 board members. The former Bloomsday board director wrote about what he called, quote, toxic leadership within the organization.
KXLY's Jordan Smith sat down with a former board member who talked about the high turnover rate at Bloomsday in the past 18 months and why he says Neal was forced out. Jordan.
Well, Gary Markham dedicated 18 years to being a Bloomsday board member. He said after 4 to 6 weeks of new leadership under Dory Whitford, he'd had enough. 1 year later, he's speaking out about his experience and his frustration with these recent resignations. Spokane's biggest race has some of the Inland Northwest's most devoted workers working year-round to put on a show for 40,000 runners. But after a slew of recent resignations, it's worth asking, what's going on inside the Bloomsday office?
I don't feel super good about
Gary Markham spoke about the final years of his 18-year experience as a board member.
The last 2 years I'd been on the board before I left, our board meetings were toxic.
He quickly butted heads when new leadership took over.
I quit last year over Dory Whitford's leadership style. When we first nominated her as president, I made a comment to the whole board that I thought she was a divisive board member and I didn't think she'd be a good president.
Roughly 6 weeks after Whitford took over, Markham stepped down. A move that was once uncommon, now becoming familiar. Tenured board members saying they've had enough. According to Markham, 4 board members, along with John Neal, have stepped away from Bloomsday over the past 18 months. In Neal's personal resignation letter obtained by 4 News Now from a person close to the organization, Neal vented his frustration after years of dedication to the organization, saying, quote, "During those 3 economically prosperous years for Bloomsday, I have endured ongoing criticism, insult, and demeaning comments from select members of this board. Those members have created a toxic, negative, pessimistic, and distracting workplace that remains both corrosive and demoralizing." Markham believes that Neal's removal was personal.
As soon as John came on as race director, she's been trying to sabotage him, and I think she finally got it done. So that's disappointing to me.
And Markham acknowledged that he hadn't been in office for over a year, but in the years he's worked with Neal, you'd be hard-pressed to find a legitimate reason as to why he would be removed from this position. And we reached out to Dory Whitford and other current board members. As of news time, we have not heard back. Aaron?
Jordan, thank you. Our beautiful weather's continuing into the weekend.
It's a great time to get outside, maybe do a little lawn work or just play.
Pickleball.
Well, if you say so, let's all get out there to the courts. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker's here. Do you like pickleball?
I have yet to play it. I'm dying to play pickleball. So yes, let's do it. We were talking about the warm weather. It is going to be a cool evening, however, as you're heading out perhaps for some football this evening. We'll be cooling down into the 50s tonight very shortly. So take a sweatshirt along with you. In fact, we're already in the 60s, made it into the 70s. 70s just about everywhere today. And it is still 70 at Fairchild Air Force Base, but these temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 40s for overnight lows once again, already in the 50s in Sandpoint and Bonners Ferry. And it's a cool evening in Colville where it is 54. It is not a cloudless sky. It's making for a beautiful sunset. Those clouds are streaming through and will be streaming right out with mostly clear skies overnight and a sunny day tomorrow. Then we're back to the warm weather fun. Maybe go to the pumpkin patch. High temperature of 75 degrees. Feels more like mid-September than mid-October. I'll tell you about some hints of change in the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Aaron?
Bound to happen. Thank you, Chris. Breaking news tonight, WashDOT responding to Spokane City officials who called for a chronic nuisance abatement agreement over Camp Hope earlier this month.
The Department of Transportation says it rejects the city holding WashDOT responsible for the situation at Camp Hope. It says the fault lies with city leaders for failing to provide enough beds, housing, and social and health services for the homeless people in Spokane. WashDOT says the city's chronic nuisance notice is illegal and is questioning its constitutionality.
WashDOT goes on to say city timelines, which are coming up in just a few weeks, aren't realistic. It says the city failed to work with the state when this camp started at around 100 people back in December. And that continued failure to work together on solutions caused the camp to explode in size. WashDOT is now requesting that the city of Spokane withdraw its chronic nuisance notice or face legal action. Well, a man who claimed self-defense in a 2018 deadly stabbing in Spokane is behind bars tonight. He's now being called a person of interest in a double murder on the East Coast. According to court documents obtained by 4 News Now, in May of 2018, Logan Clegg told officers he was attacked by a man while walking to work in downtown Spokane. He said he stabbed the man until he stopped fighting, then walked away. That man died. Police never charged Clegg with a crime. Now Clegg is a person of interest in a case involving a married couple killed in April in Concord, New Hampshire. Our ABC sister station is reporting police found him this week with a one-way ticket to Germany, which was scheduled to leave today.
Well, 2 of the biggest grocery chains in the inland Northwest are joining forces. Kroger is merging with Albertsons in a $24.6 billion deal. Between the 2 of them, they own nearly 5,000 stores across the U.S. This deal would make them one of the largest grocery chains in the country.
A look at this, a broken car window, and it's not the only one. Employees out of business in downtown Spokane say they're fed up. People are breaking into their cars at least once a week. Sweet Frosting says it's struggling to keep employees because its parking lot is a hot spot for crime.
And it's expensive. Now, on top of paying to use that parking lot, they're trying to help repair employees' windows that have been smashed. Sweet Frostings on 1st and Washington pays $2,000 a month for the privately owned parking lot that's directly across from the bakery. New at 6 tonight, Bronte Sorotsky is live at Sweet Frostings and shares their plea for help.
Well, Sweet Frostings employees are facing car break-ins on a weekly basis. They've started a car break-in fund to try and offset some of those costs as the damages continue to pile up.
We can't afford to keep fixing our windows, and we don't feel safe parking in their parking lots.
People who work at Sweet Frostings say it's not uncommon to see broken glass from employees' cars in their parking lot.
Recently, in the last 3 months, it's been almost a weekly thing. We get either our windows broken or we've been, attempted robbery, somebody trying to open up somebody's door while they're inside their car.
Their most recent attempt was on Thursday.
It was the front of the parking lot, and I usually take my breaks out in my car on my lunch. And so I was having my lunch break, and next thing I know, my door was opening, and there was somebody trying to get into my car.
She says while the man didn't take anything or hurt her, the experience left her shaken up.
And now we're very vigilant on it, but we shouldn't have to be, We should just know that our cars are safe. We pay for this lot. Our employees pay good money to be able to work. Where elsewhere you don't have to do that.
The store pays $2,000 a month to use the parking lot. They've tried to set up security measures of their own, but can't because they don't own the lot. They say the company that does won't do anything to help. Now, they're trying to raise extra money to help employees pay for repairs.
We're paying another $300 per window broken into, and I have one employee who's been broken into 3 times in the last month.
The store just set up a tip jar to help pay for repairs.
About $50 in 2 days, so that's been really amazing. I would love to raise some more to pay for somebody's window. It's a constant issue, and it's very expensive.
While customers have been supportive, the store still struggles to retain employees who worry their own cars will be next. Now, 4 News Now has reached out to Diamond Parking, the company that owns the parking lot, and has not heard back. Reporting live in Spokane, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Bronte, thank you. Fall rain in the inland northwest, still nowhere to be found.
We're looking. Coming up, meteorologist Matt Gregg explains what's been keeping the storms away. And new details on the 5 people shot and killed in North Carolina. The connection between one of them and the shooter. That's ahead. Plus,
Election Day is just weeks away. Coming up, see who's vying for your vote to be the next Spokane County prosecutor. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
Four News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gamma Knife.
It's time for change. It's time to heal the division in our state. As a representative of the people, I will fight for free enterprise and protect small business from the overreaching runaway government. I feel strongly that my skills and experience developed from my professional career are desperately needed in Olympia. It's time for less overreach and more freedom. I'm Suzanne Schmidt for 4th District Representative, Republican.
Are you ready for winter and unexpected power outages? Talk with the experts at Country Homes Power to find the best fireplace to protect your home, even when the power goes out. Like Valor gas fireplaces. Visit Country Homes Power today.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
It's an anniversary event like no other this Saturday at all 3 Cal locations in Airway Heights, Coeur d'Alene, and their new location on Division Street, as Cal is celebrating their 20-year anniversary with barbecues and free t-shirts. And get this, each location will sell 1 vehicle for $20. That's right, $20. Just show up at the selected times and Cal will flip a coin, heads or tails, to see who gets to buy it. Plus, take advantage of other special offers. This Saturday only at Cal.
My husband has diabetes.
Even with health insurance, we're having a hard time affording our medications.
Thankfully, we have Patty Murray fighting for us in the U.S. Senate. She kept at it till Congress finally lowered the cost of prescription drugs.
And capped insulin for seniors at $35 a month.
Now we'll save thousands every year. We know when Patty is back in the other Washington.
She is working for us.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
If you're looking to remodel your home with some new stylish flooring or maybe some modern wallscape ideas, then you need to visit one of Windsor Plywood's 2 locations for the best selection of doors, floors, moldings, and more.
Windsor Plywood.
A big election we've been telling you about is the Spokane County prosecutor race. Whoever's elected will shape how the county fights crime and holds people accountable.
2 candidates are trying to earn your vote, and we're taking the issues you care about straight to the sources. In our For the People coverage, Esther Bauer breaks down the race and who's running.
Well, these are the 2 people in the county prosecutor race. Deb Conklin is not affiliated with any party. Larry Haskell is a Republican. Both are bringing a different approach to how they would tackle crime and keep the community safe. Larry Haskell is the current county prosecutor, elected in 2014. He says being tough on crime is key to safety.
The fact is that the soft on crime, the more gentle approach, the alternatives, and we use those here, but to the extent that my opponent is advocating, those jurisdictions are doing very poorly. Look at King County, look at Seattle.
His opponent, Deb Conklin, says what he's suggesting isn't working because crime rates are still rising.
If we want to stop the revolving door, if we want to reduce crime, crime, if we want to have safer neighborhoods, we have to address the root causes of crime. That means we have to be more interested in using the drug court, the veterans court, the mental health court.
Haskell blames a lot of the issues on Olympia, saying if reelected, he would lobby for more power to be put back in the hands of law enforcement and will take a stronger stance on drugs.
I'm going to try to lobby the legislature to put mandatory treatment in, regardless of whether they make it a misdemeanor or whether they make it a felony.
Conklin says she would try and help the capacity issue at the county jail by using pre-trial release programs and monitoring people from home.
We have ways to keep the community safe and also reduce the jail population and help people.
Conklin says the office has lost the trust of the people.
The reason I'm running in this race is because it is critically important that the people of Spokane County have faith in their prosecuting attorney.
Numerous media outlets reported on racist comments Haskell's wife made in the past, something he still says doesn't influence his ability to be fair.
I apologize for those comments, but they're not the policy of the office. They're not my policy, and they never will be my policy.
This current pastor wants to unseat the current prosecutor. Both say they are ready for the role and prepared to lead the largest law firm in Eastern Washington. And we know you care about this race and many others. Keep in mind, ballots will start going out next week, and we'll continue to track this race, and we still want to hear from you. We'll take your questions straight to the source to help you make an informed decision. Reporting in studio, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. A clear, cool evening in progress, but we're heading into a sunny, warm Saturday, but a little breezy. 70s for days in the forecast. I'll let you know what to expect after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Panhandle Carpet One, Coeur d'Alene.
A lot of politicians like to talk big, but where's the action? Al French is a leader we can trust, and Al's results speak for themselves. Al has won funding for our roads to keep goods moving. As costs skyrocket, Al has pledged no county property tax increase. His opponent wants to give criminals a get-out-of-jail-free card, while Al dedicated more funding to the Sheriff's Department to keep families safe.
I'm Al French. I'm asking for your vote so I can keep getting results for you.
Girls' nights out are now becoming Girls' Days Out when you drive a fun new Jeep from Dishman. Girls, they love to have fun. Explore the fun of owning a Jeep. Whether you're dropping the kids off at soccer, just running around town, or spending the day outdoors, there's nothing quite like owning a Jeep.
And right now you can get Dishman employee pricing when you custom order a new Jeep from Dishman.
It's more fun in a Jeep.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
There are a million ways to say
Good morning, America.
And next week, Robin and GMA are about to help give away $1 million to someone in America who so deserves it and has no idea it's coming. The $1 Million Giveaway. See it happen live next week on Good Morning America.
The return of the classic car scam. Rolling back odometers. Next, Inside Edition. Now an expert shows us the way it's done today. We knock off 100,000 miles real fast. Look at this piece of junk.
This is unbelievable.
Then, butterboards, the hot new meal. Why some experts are calling it a potential petri dish for spreading germs. Would you eat this? Next, Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
What you're looking at and hearing is a man playing his favorite instrument while getting brain surgery.
Wow.
You're probably wondering why the hospital would allow this, but it's actually for the benefit of the patient. It allows surgeons to perform complex brain procedures while monitoring in real time any effects it could be having on the patient's neurological functions. In this case, his ability to play the saxophone. If he stops playing it, can you go back and undo what you did to get him to keep playing?
That's what they did in Grey's Anatomy. I don't know if that's true, though.
Don't poke there. Take the knife off that part. See if he keeps playing.
Move it back.
And you can watch Grey's Anatomy here on 4 News Now, Thursdays at 10.
That's not true. Is that true?
It's a favorite of mine, I'll admit.
I'm going to Google that.
Oh, my goodness. I've never heard of that before. Mostly clear skies tonight, 46 degrees for an overnight low, 75 for a high tomorrow, sunny and warm. Winds are going to pick up just a little bit, some variety in our weather pattern with gusts up to 20 miles per hour, still fairly light. Here's a look at our air quality right now. Definitely have some trouble spots in there, the same spots that have been an issue for over a month now, right around the Kootenai Complex fire in the unhealthy range and along the east slopes of the Cascades where the fires are burning in the Cascades. That is also a problem with light winds. That smoke is just building up close to the fires and really impacting those communities. We have air quality alerts in effect for Boundary County as well as parts of the Okanagan, including Omak, Winthrop, Wenatchee along the east slopes of the Cascades and the Waterville Plateau. Now here's our smoke forecast. We are going to see a shift in our winds and the winds are going to pick up tomorrow afternoon. And the hope is we'll transport some of that smoke out of the region and disperse it as well. So we're not just pushing it over to the Seattle people because we are going to get an easterly wind going. Here's our winds and smoke forecast. Those white arrows are the winds. 6 o'clock Saturday, we already start to see that easterly wind developing around the region, and as you can see, that helps clear out some of the smoke. Now we may also transport some smoke from other fires into the region, but I think in general we're going to have a net loss, and as soon as those winds start to die down a little bit, we'll see the smoke start to redevelop in those typical places. But it would be nice to wipe the slate clean and start over again. Meanwhile, here's what's going on. A little bit of a weak disturbance moving through our ridge of high pressure to the east. Right now we're on the eastern edge of that ridge. Here's Saturday morning at 7, but that ridge is going to reassert itself in spectacular fashion for Sunday. So the winds will die down. We're back to sunshine. Well, we're going to keep the sunshine going all weekend, but we'll have lighter winds, high pressure, keeping the storms away. And it looks like it's going to keep them away through most of the 7-day forecast. Overnight lows tonight will be down in the 30s and 40s. Here's a look at lows around the region. 48 in Omak, 46 in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 50 tonight in Lewiston. High temperatures tomorrow, 80s in Grand Coulee and Lewiston. 70s will be common elsewhere around the area. Here's your planning forecast. Sunny skies right on through Thursday. We may start to see some changes on Friday, which could even include the possibility of some light precipitation. We'll look out 8 to 14 days in the forecast coming up in the next half hour. Aaron?
I Googled that. It is Thursdays. Grey's Anatomy is Thursdays.
Oh, and you know who plays the saxophone? Meteorologist Matt Gray.
All the connections.
Yeah.
Huh, and he also needs brain surgery, too.
What?
It's
No.
such a coincidence. Kidding, Matt. The warm weather just seems to be never ending. It's actually the warmest start to fall we've ever seen in Spokane.
There's wacky weather going on all across the western United States, and it's all because of one thing. And we have meteorologist Matt Gray here to explain what that is and how much longer we may have to wait for this pattern to change, Matt.
I mean, I probably could use a good brain scan, Aaron. I don't know. All right, so we've been warm and dry for a while, but look, get a load of this. This is our situation here in the Northwest. Our rain totals this year, we're getting lapped by some of the driest places in the county. No, I did not mistype that. That is Death Valley, California, with more rain since July 1st in Spokane and Seattle. Yeah, high pressure in control of our weather more often than not. But in October, it hardly ever lasts for as long as it is right now. Well, that high pressure that's moving into our area, it's going to get stuck. And that's because that low down off the coast of Los Angeles, that's its dance partner, that low pressure in the southwest. Now, this pattern that's got to lock in for this upcoming week, this is called a Rex block. The man who coined the term, his name is Rex. That's why they call it that. The high is stacked over top of the low. The winds swirling in opposite directions around these weather features. And that is basically acting like a kink in a water hose. But this time that hose is the jet stream winds that would otherwise be bringing us those big fall storm systems off the Pacific Ocean. So until one of these two features or both ends up weakening, we're going to be stuck in this pattern. And as long as the block is there, we get hot and dry up here in the northwest and cool and wet more often down in the southwest. So something has to break this down. You think we may have a solution here. There's a strong low that's swinging out of the Arctic and over Russia right now, and that might just do the trick. You can see on this computer model simulation, it charges up the jet stream winds, and those jet stream winds, they slam into the northwest by next weekend. That's why Chris is talking about some potential for some changes. That would be great news after, well, what has been a really smoky start to this fall. But this far out, exactly how big of a change this is going to be, it's a long way to go. It's still unclear. In the meantime, enjoy the sunshine. We'll keep you updated here in the Weather Center on what should be a very fascinating situation.
Sounds good. Thank you, Matt. If you want to go beyond the basics of the forecast, know a little more of why the weather happens and how it can affect us all, subscribe to the Brainstorm. We've got insight on our weather coming to your inbox every week.
Still ahead, getting your hands on ADHD medication is getting more and more difficult. What steps doctors say you can take if you're having trouble filling your prescription? Coming up next on 4 News Now at 6.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
It's an anniversary event like no other this Saturday at all 3 Cal locations in Airway Heights, Coeur d'Alene, and their new location on Division Street. As Cal is celebrating their 20-year anniversary with barbecues and free t-shirts. And get this, each location will sell one vehicle for $20. That's right, $20. Just show up at the selected times and Cal will flip a coin, heads or tails, to see who gets to buy it. Plus, take advantage of other special offers. This Saturday, only at Cal.
The internet is full of misinformation about how elections work. There are several things you can do to spot misinformation. Be cautious of headlines designed to provoke anger, fear, or other strong emotions. Double check that the source of information is a trusted expert. And see if other news outlets are also reporting on the issue. You deserve to know the facts about Washington state elections. Visit sos.wa.gov to learn more.
At Providence, we've been investing in the health of the community and raising the standard of care for over 160 years. And we are honored to bring you top-rated Medicare Advantage coverage. Providence plans start at just $0, include dental, hearing, and vision, and connect you to a network of thousands of local providers. Providence. Join us as we make community stronger by building true health together.
How wild would it be to win $5,000 cash? Join us at Coeur d'Alene Casino as we rev up the winnings with the $100,000 Wild Wheeling Lucky You hot seats on select Tuesdays and Thursdays in October. Play with your Core Rewards card for a chance to be one of 20 players to win a $5,000 jackpot. Get here before they're gone. The $100,000 Wild Wheeling Lucky You hot seats, only at Coeur d'Alene Casino. For more information, visit cdacasino.com.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Tire Store.
Around the nation tonight, investigators in North Carolina are still searching for a possible motive for why a 15-year-old shot and killed 5 people near a popular walking trail.
A teenage boy and a 29-year-old just headed to work were both killed. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has the latest on the investigation and what we're learning about the victims.
Thursday evening, an active shooting situation on the streets of the Hedingham neighborhood in eastern Raleigh, prompting warnings for residents to stay inside.
You pray that something like this will never happen here. It did.
The Raleigh Police Department says the crime scene extended over 2 miles throughout neighborhood streets and a nearby greenway, ending in a standoff where the suspected 15-year-old shooter was critically injured. During the ongoing investigation, a source with knowledge of the investigation telling CNN a handgun and long gun were recovered. Chief of Police Estella Patterson says they still have more questions than answers.
My heart is heavy because we don't have answers as to why this tragedy occurred.
The department identified the 5 victims Friday, their ages ranging from 16 to 52. One of the victims identified as 49-year-old Sue Carnitz. Her husband saying in a statement she was a very loving wife and loving mother to 3 boys aged 10, 13, 14. We will miss her greatly. The chief says Officer Gabriel Torres was on his way to work when he was killed. 2 others were also injured, including a Raleigh K-9 officer. The violence in Raleigh forcing yet another community to feel the pain following a mass shooting.
I have to consider that there's really no perfect place, and this is close as I have seen, but I'm not sure if I want to stay.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
One of the most common drugs prescribed to treat ADHD is in short supply because of manufacturing delays. The agency's drug shortages website shows back orders for several generic forms of Adderall are expected to last until March. While other companies continue to produce the drug, they just say there isn't enough to meet the demand. So if you have trouble filling your prescription, pediatric psychologist Benjamin Fields with Nationwide Children's says talk to your doctor.
Other stimulant medications too, and they could talk about whether there's options that their medical provider thinks would be appropriate, and I would certainly have them do that.
Experts say behavioral health experts can also help kids function with symptoms of ADHD, and that might mean changes in things like homework. The FDA says it will continue to monitor supply and help manufacturers resolve the shortage. Well, the Seattle Mariners have their backs up against the wall against the Houston Astros, but their leader is confident in their ability to extend the series at least one more game. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti has more on their Game 3 matchup.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
I was 34. I was a business owner. I was a single mom with a 4-year-old, and I felt a lump in the shower. I have cancer. It doesn't have me. I'm gonna get rid of it, and then I'm gonna go on with my life. I was gonna do anything that it took. I did, and here I am, almost 10 years later. I had a little boy. He needs his mom.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
It says here, United Healthcare has America's most chosen Medicare plans and local Medicare plan experts.
They'll even find you a plan with good dental coverage.
How do you know?
Scott, my local Medicare plan expert. He helped me find the right plan.
With benefits including prescription, drug, vision, and dental coverage, our Washington team is ready to help you find a Medicare plan that meets your needs and budget.
Talk to a local Medicare plan expert today at 1-888-SHOP-UHC.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Just drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate to Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Hello, I'm Denver Toon. Jewelry Design Center is very proud and excited to partner with 4 News Now's Coats for Kids this fall. So stop by the store, help your community, and donate to those in need. You can also get your free jewelry cleaning and inspection while you're here.
If you're looking to remodel your home with some new stylish flooring or maybe some modern wallscape ideas, then you need to visit one of Windsor Plywood's 2 locations for the best selection of doors, floors, moldings, and more.
Windsor Plywood.
If you're looking to score big on the best lineup of certified used or new SUVs and trucks just in time for the winter months, plus get up to 60 months low interest financing, then come on down to Finley for a touchdown of savings.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Another beautiful night in downtown Spokane. Check out that sunset.
It is amazing. It is pink and blue.
Your
my
favorite
favorites.
colors?
That is just something. I'd like to stay on that for the rest of the newscast. But
Let's
we
play some
need
nice soothing music and just let it roll.
maybe some yoga, Chris.
Yes.
It's gorgeous
Let's
out there.
start
You
in child's
too.
pose.
You too.
We have some rumors floating around that this might be our best weekend for a long time.
We are definitely seeing that showing up. I don't know how big of a shock it's going to be, but in the meantime, let's talk about the weekend ahead, which is going to be no surprise here, beautiful just like it has been. Our high temperatures today across the region running between 10 and 15 degrees above average. We were in the 70s throughout the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, 71 in Coeur d'Alene, 73 at Spokane International Airport. It was 72 at Deer Park, Meade, and at Cheney. Temperatures right now cooling down quickly. We are in the 60s in most locations, still 70 at Fairchild Air Force Base, 50s in Colville, Bonners Ferry, as well as Sandpoint. It's 68 right now in Lewiston, as well as Moses Lake. We do have a few clouds drifting through that made for that beautiful sunset. That's the nice thing. They are going to be clearing out, but we do have another week system that's going to be passing through tomorrow that will pick up our winds a little bit out of the east with gusts to 20 miles per hour. Just a light breeze. Otherwise, your weekend forecast, 75s on Saturday and Sunday with sunshine. We'll start the day off in the 40s. It will be crisp. I will be back with your 7-day outlook and talk about those changes a little bit more in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
All right, Chris, well, winter is quickly approaching and making sure that your car is safe to drive is very important. Spokane Community College is hosting a free car care fair at their automotive department on Mission and Green tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Automotive specialists and students will check your brakes, lights, windshield wipers, tires, air filters, and make sure there aren't any leaks at no cost to you. Tickets for the November 20th Gonzaga versus Kentucky game go on sale. Get this, mark your calendars, October 28th. And we need to know that.
Should have told them 29th, and then we could have got on early
They
and
know
got tickets.
already. They got the alerts. You can get yours at SpokaneArena.com starting at 10 a.m. on that date. And prices start at $65.
Now, the November 20th game is the first in a 6-year series between the Zags and the Kentucky Wildcats. Tip-off starts at 4:30 p.m. at the Spokane Arena.
And Alex is here with us, and this is the question everybody's asking. How quickly are they going to sell out?
Probably within 5 minutes or so. I do have a bone to pick about that time. It's a Sunday during NFL football. Good luck to the national audience not watching that game there. Anyway, that's besides that, it's just a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, the hottest ticket in town is not here in Spokane. It's actually over on the west side, the Seattle Mariners hosting their first playoff game in 21 years. Average price of a ticket on Monday was $335. So Luna, you're taking us this weekekend, right?
Yeah, it's on me, guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to max out that card.
You know, I have that shirt with the tag still on it. I'm ready to go.
There we go. No. Well, they're going to have their backs up against the wall in Game 3 as Houston took the first 2 of the series by a combined just 3 runs. So not much separating these two teams at this point. But the bats of the M's have largely been keeping them in these games. They're averaging better than 5.5 runs per game in the postseason. That's the one area that manager Scott Service is hoping that they can keep them in there to get back into the series.
I think we've had guys, you've seen it throughout the year, they get hot for extended periods of time and they carry us, you know, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. But just the quality of bat up and down the lineup has been outstanding. A tribute to our guys and the game planning. They've all bought into 9 versus 1. Them together, them 9 have a better chance of beating that one guy on the mound than just one guy individually trying to hit a couple homers. They clearly have bought into that, understanding that's what leads to winning baseball, certainly at this time of year.
Be another day game for these two teams. First pitch just after 1 in the afternoon, and if the M's are able to extend the series out, they'll also play in the afternoon on Sunday, and that's going to be at the same time as the Seahawks matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So certainly a very busy weekend potentially over in Seattle. You know, nice and quiet here in Spokane, except for the fact that Gonzaga women's basketball has their Fan Fest. Eastern plays Sacramento State in the evening. Let's see, WSU plays down in Corvallis against Oregon State. Little Brownstein between Idaho and Montana. So, you know, nice quiet sports weekend here in the Northwest.
So you need to just become 7 or 8 versions of yourself to get to all of those.
That would be, yeah. So, where you ever see Harry Potter? Like Hermione's got the little time thing.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
The deep reference,
Good
I like
plan.
it. Thanks, Alex. Cancer is becoming more prevalent among younger generations. What doctors say you should watch out for next on 4 News Now.
And after a week of hard work, 4 News Now's Extreme Team unveiled the brand new Karl Maxey Center Library last night. What the families had to say, that's right after the break.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Dishman Dodge.
At 23, I quit my nursing job to care for my wounded husband, student loans and all. We are living proof that the American dream is about hand-ups, not handouts. That's why I think it's insane that Joe Biden and Patty Murray are sending a stadium full of new IRS agents to force families making less than $75,000 to pay for someone else's law degree. It's division wrapped in intimidation, and I will stop them. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to transform a home, a room, or a piece of furniture. No matter the project, the folks at your local Ace Hardware store are here to help you with all your paint needs. With our wide selection of premium brand paints and accessories, the experts at Ace will make sure you have everything you need to complete your paint project, no matter how big or small. Come see us today.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
You even remember to water the house plants. I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Democrats in Washington are threatening our way of life. Reckless spending fueling inflation. Shutting down energy production here at home. A push to defund the police. Kathy McMorris Rogers is fighting every day to stop them and protect Eastern Washington. Cutting spending to curb inflation. Unleashing American energy production. And making sure law enforcement has the resources they need. Kathy McMorris Rogers, our voice.
I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers, and I approve this message.
Next ET, our night out with the Afflecks.
It's a beautiful moment.
Only ET is with the stars celebrating Ralph Lauren, plus one-on-one with Rob Lowe.
The tension is killing me.
How Rob's redefining the dad bod at 58.
Thank God I was engaging my core.
I need to shave my chest and start doing sit-ups.
Then SWAT star Shamar Moore stopped by ET to talk about his new lifestyle obsession.
We're making big things happen.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
It's hard to imagine that this time next week we're going to be talking about possible rain and changes and temperatures closer to average. In the meantime, here we are again with another day in the 70s. Our Highs continue to stay in the mid-70s. Our normal high continues to drop. Our average high now is only 59 degrees. And take a look at our average morning low is 38. We haven't been anywhere near that. 43 is the coolest it has been in Spokane. So no freeze in Spokane by any stretch. We are much closer to our records these days than we are to our average. Meanwhile, sunset today was at 4 minutes after 6. Here is a look at where we've been so far this month. We're working on a record here, so we'll check in with this every day until every day so far this month. We've been in the 70s or higher, even a couple of 80-degree days on the 3rd and 4th. So 14 days, we get up to 17. We will tie the record for the number of 70-degree or higher days in the month of October. And that record was set back in 1944. So if we make it to Tuesday, we're going to have a new record, and I think we will do that handily. Here's a look at the temperature trend over the next 7 days. This white line way down here is average, which will be down in the lower to mid 50s by this time next week, but we are going to cruise along in the lower to mid 70s right on through Thursday of next week, and then a little bit of a dip. We do have cooler weather coming, but I don't even think we're going to get down to average. I think we're going to just ease into fall. I was afraid the bottom was going to fall out of this and it was going to become such a shock to the system. We'll have time to get acclimated. Here's the 8 to 14 day forecast. Our trend is toward cooler, but we still have at least a hint of above average temperatures in the forecast for that last week of October, or toward the last week, the 22nd through the 28th. But here's what's different, and of course Matt talked about this in the last half hour. Our precipitation outlook begins to improve. We really do need that to put the lid on the last of the fire season and the smoke, with a good chance of above average precipitation for that time period, particularly on the west side, and boy, into the Cascades. If we could get some good fall rains on those Cascade fires, that would be tremendous. In the meantime, savor those 70s. Tomorrow, a little bit on the breezy side. That should end up being a good thing to help transport some of the smoke out of Boundary County and along the Waterville Plateau. Overnight lows, no sign of 30s. We'll stay in the 40s through the 7-day outlook. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. The new library at the Carl Maxey Center is now open to the public in East Spokane. Mark Peterson and the Extreme team spent months working on the final design and how to upgrade the electrical wiring and plumbing alongside the center's founder, Sandy Williams.
Sandy passed away last month in a seaplane crash. During last night's reveal, her family was there, and they said they couldn't be happier with the way it turned out.
It's amazing. Very, very much so. It's quite a difference from when I saw it before with all the...
Kind of different?
Yeah. All right. The boxes on the floor and everything.
I think if she was to be here to see this, she would just be...
She'd be smiling ear to ear.
Yeah,
she'd have that Sandy smile that would just say, this is amazing, and this is her vision.
Sandy opened the center as a place to inspire and uplift Spokane's Black community. Her goal of the library was to give people a place to go where they can learn about technology and art. To see the full reveal as well as a photo gallery, just look for this story. It's on KXLY.com.
Well, what feels like an extended summer has the community taking advantage of the great outdoors with every extra last minute we have. Emily Bloom explored our area today to see how people are taking it all in.
Everyone we spoke to today was just thrilled about the weather that we have been having over the past couple of weeks. Now, we all love the fall leaves and the crisp air, but for right now, people just want to ride this wave of summertime as long as they can, and the benefits go beyond just the favorable weather.
This is pretty much exactly what gets our business. You know, it's so fantastic during the summer.
At Brown's Bistro, they typically slow down moving into the cooler months, but on this mid-October Friday, their patio was busy.
You know, it's fantastic.
The parking lot at Downriver Golf Course was packed.
We're so lucky. The marshal just said we're stealing this weather, so that's kind of true.
It feels great.
Vicki Kelly has golfed in October before, but never with weather quite like this.
Where it would be sketchy about whether or not you could make it all the way through without rain or maybe even snow, but this is unusual.
And these boys say nothing is better than this on a Friday.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's nice to let the club rip in October.
We're just going to go full send.
Yeah. Yep.
Hole-in-one style.
Bikers can continue to enjoy these sunny skies for the foreseeable future.
Beautiful out here. It's the best weather we've had since before summer. It's gorgeous. For October, you couldn't ask for better weather.
And as for construction, that's succeeding too. There are a few grind and overlay projects the streets department was able to add and get completed at the end of this season because of the good weather that we're experiencing. And this traffic controller on Monroe adding a spark in each person's day. The overall consensus is people are just loving this weather, but they are worried it's going to just turn on a dime. We've seen it happen before, but for now we're just going to go forward with our weekend, enjoying the summer-like weather that we've been experiencing. Reporting live in Spokane, Emily Bloom, 4 News Now.
Emily, thank you. And you know, I don't like to complain, but a lot of people do. We get emails all the time.
What? No.
So let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say you were planning to stay inside under a blanket on a couch tomorrow.
You saw my calendar.
Right. Well, we're about to ruin those plans for you.
Yeah, because Multicare is hosting the Bridge to Brunch 5K run tomorrow. Registration $35. All the money goes to the Multicare Foundation. That helps patients who are suffering financially, but will also help with the new mental health facility in Northeast Spokane.
Access to behavioral health is still a struggle here in Spokane, and so this new behavioral health clinic that we're building it's needed more now than ever.
Registration opens at 7:30 tomorrow morning at the WSU Health Sciences Spokane campus at the Green 5 parking lot. That's the corner of Spokane Falls Boulevard and Sherman. The race starts at 9 a.m. Afterwards, there's a waffle breakfast with bacon and mimosas for participants to enjoy.
Well, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
Agriculture is the foundation of our regional economy. The Washington State Potato Commission proudly recognizes our farmers.
Washington potato farmers care about the environment. They strive each year for more sustainable farming practices by using the cleanest energy sources to power their packing and storage facilities and using more technology to water their crops, lower their carbon footprint, and grow some of the world's best potatoes. When you talk about sustainability, Washington potato farmers are already there.
A tribute for our great Northwest farmers from the Washington State Potato Commission.
My husband has diabetes.
Even with health insurance, we're having a hard time affording our medications.
Thankfully, we have Patty Murray fighting for us in the U.S. Senate. She kept at it till Congress finally lowered the cost of prescription drugs.
And capped insulin for seniors at $35 a month.
Now we'll save thousands every year. We know when Patty is back in the other Washington.
She is working for us.
I'm Patty Murray, and I approve this message.
If you have a vehicle you no longer need, you can give it new purpose through Union Gospel Mission. Simply go to ugmmotors.org or call 509-327-HELP to schedule a pickup. Your donation gives people like Tyler food, shelter, job training, and the opportunity for a whole new life. Be a driver of change. Donate your vehicle to Union Gospel Mission.
This season, fall into Coeur d'Alene. Fall is a great time to visit Coeur d'Alene. With awesome weather, fall color cruises, exciting events, a variety of food, beer, and wine selections, and amazing accommodations. It's the perfect time to stay and play in CDA. Visit cdafall.com for more information.
It's time for change. It's time to heal the division in our state. As a representative of the people, I will fight for free enterprise and protect small business from the overreaching runaway government. I feel strongly that my skills and experience developed from my professional career are desperately needed in Olympia. It's time for less overreach and more freedom. I'm Suzanne Schmidt for 4th District Representative, Republican.
4 News Now is brought to you by Silverwood Theme Park.
New tonight at 6:30, these warmer than average temperatures are giving us a few more opportunities to break out the kayaks and paddle boards and enjoy the many lakes and rivers here in the Inland Northwest.
There sure are plenty. Tonight we are giving you a bird's eye view of what it's like to be on the water in the middle of October. Let's go for a ride over Priest Lake in this week's Air for Adventure.
This year has been just phenomenal at Priest Lake. The tamaracks haven't even turned yet, but in the fall, the hills are just a golden blaze of color when those trees turn. We've had such a beautiful fall this year, and I particularly like to kayak in the fall because the lake is so calm. It's just like glass, and also the temperatures are warm and hardly any wind, which makes for really pristine kayaking. Kayaking just brings so much peace and solitude, and it's good exercise, but there's just something about the rhythm of paddling and just kind of letting your mind go and be able to enjoy the scenery, listen to the birds, see the wildlife. I love to photograph from the water. There is such interesting views and vistas that one can get when you're right down on the water. It creates just wonderful photographs, and it's just stunning. Because I do like to photograph, I try to get out in the golden hour when the sun's just the hour before the sun goes down, and early in the morning when the sun starts setting is absolutely gorgeous. This time of year is my favorite. It is absolutely stunning. It's quiet, the lake is calm, the trees are turning, the wildlife is in abundance. The season is magical.
We also want to tell you about another race that's happening in the Valley this weekend. It's October Dash. It's a 5K, or you can do a 10K fun run, and had to be held virtually in recent years because of COVID. But it's a normal race this year, and the weather's going to be great. It starts tomorrow, 9 a.m., Marabou Park. The proceeds benefiting Teen and Kid Closet. That's our own Robin Nance's nonprofit, and registration's already closed. So keep that on your calendar for next year. We'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Get exactly what you want. Wendell Ford is ready to help you find that vehicle you've been wanting to buy. Built for you. F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Mach-E, and Maverick. Here's how it works. Make a list of options you want. Wendell will work with you on financing to fit your budget. And then we will order the vehicle of your dreams or select from current inventory. Get exactly what you want. Built for you. Wendell Ford at the Y. Drive for generations.
Joe Biden's open borders have threatened our neighborhoods and our children's safety. Fentanyl-related deaths have increased right here in Idaho. Gang members transport fentanyl and other dangerous drugs into our schools and communities. This has got to stop. I'm Mike Crapo. I approve this message. It's time we control the borders and shut down the pipeline of drugs and violence into Idaho.
I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Get ready to vote with 4 News Now for the People coverage. What do you want to know about this year's ballot? Send your questions to KXLY.com. We'll get answers now until Election Day. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
Is one casino really any better than the next? Well, at Northern Quest, we've got the largest gaming floor in the region, not to mention the most slot titles, the most payouts, the largest selection of table games, the lowest minimum bets, the highest maximum bets, and a state-of-the-art sports book. So you tell us. Northern Quest, yes, the best. Play daily to carve out your share of Jack-o'-lantern loot on October 27th.
I don't think we've ever had that in 14 seasons.
I will work like a lion.
I'm a believer. I'm going to make you filthy rich.
Let's go!
New Shark Tank tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This is another one of those surprise medical bills you get in the mail. I've gotten them. You've gotten them. I'm Kathy McMorris Rogers. With inflation crushing our families, we need to put a stop to these. I support requiring hospitals, insurers, and doctors to disclose their prices so you can know the real cost and can shop around for the best care. I approve this message because no one likes surprises, especially this kind.
4 News Now is brought to you by Chewelah Casino.
Saturday planner, plan on enjoying some beautiful sunshine, some sunglasses required, a crisp start in the 40s, but 75 for a high.
Crisp start in the 40s. That's when you can lay on the couch with your blanket.
Okay, that way everybody's happy.
Yeah, you can do a little everything tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a Goldilocks day.
Oh,
Coffee on the Adirondack chair with a blanket.
Ooh.
Sunrise. That's how I drink coffee.